The Edo State Governor, Mr. Obaseki, has said the state's newly unveiled 30-year development plan will sustain ongoing reforms and projects by his administration aimed at improving the livelihood of the people. The governor told journalists on Monday that his government will continue to implement policies and pursue projects to advance the socio-economic situation of the state and its people. He said, "This year, our state marked its 30th anniversary. While we are grateful to God for seeing us through the different challenges we faced all these years, we believe it is time for reflective thinking and an opportunity to chart a new course while being targeted in our quest for sustainable development. In the last 5 years, we have undertaken transformational reforms targeted at overhauling the civil and public service, which is the engine that drives government. We are undertaking fundamental reforms in healthcare, emplacing foundational changes in the education system, revamping moribund infrastructure, prioritizing human capital development, and fast-tracking programs and initiatives to drive inclusive growth. Noting that the 30-year development plan will drive sustainable socio-economic growth and development in the state over the next 3 decades, the governor said. The last 5 years has been one of a battle to fix a disarticulated system by reintroducing the discipline and values of planning into government and governance process. We are aware that we need to sustain these deep reforms and initiatives. That is why we unveiled the 30-year development plan process, which we have commenced. The Edo'S State 30-year development plan and the Edo'S State 30-year urban and regional master plan will be a grand design to set the new course and direction for one of the most progressive and prosperous subnational governments in Nigeria. Governor Godwin Obaseki has a lot of plans for this state, for Edo State, Even if we look at his campaign, manifesto or agenda for the year is making Edo great again, mega. That's what he plans for the state, making Edo State great again. He's now talking about the 30-year plan, the Edo's 30-year plan. He's stating that this plan will sustain reforms. And while he was talking about this 30-year plan, he was asked that in a couple of years you'll be out. What assurance do you have that this 30-year plan that you've unveiled, that it will be sustainable? He said, he can't promise that, but he wants to believe that anyone that will come on board, most probably maybe his conscience will make him maintain the same course, the same pathway that he has set. He said that's why he will not, when speculations were going around that it was going to be Shaibu that he was going to appoint come 2024 to take over from him. He said he was not going to recommend anyone. He will not appoint anyone. The people will choose whoever they want to govern them. When the people choose that person will now have to take the mantle from where he stopped. One major challenge that the country is still facing is the issue of continuity. And this is not just for Edo State, it's for all across the country, all of the states. You find out that a governor is doing very well. He started some projects, started some initiative, but he's got just 8 years at best. 8 years. The first 4 years, if he's able to win the people over again, they re-elect him another 4 years, making 8 years. So the governor has got 8 years. And within that 8 years, some projects he started, the governor starts, he can finish. And there are some that he starts towards the end of the tenure. Obviously, he can't finish. What is meant to happen is that there's meant to be a transfer of baton. It's like a relay. You get to that point and you hand over the baton, and the next person that comes on board picks up from there and continues. But we hardly find that in our country. Hardly. What we even see is that as the governor is leaving, both the predecessor and the successor, they are now arch enemies. They start fighting each other. There's no continuity. Probably everyone wants to stand out to take the praise that it was me, I. Teamwork is something that will really keep the country, it keeps people together, and it also enhances productivity and growth as well. So this 30-year plan he's talking about, we're just hoping and praying that whoever will take over from him will have this same dream and this vision, because Obaseki has been dreaming big for the state. He talked about the overhauling that he's been carrying out in the civil and public service. that he cannot overlook the civil and public service, because he knows very well that the civil and public service, they are the engine that drives government. And that is true. If we go to government offices, who are those? They are civil servants. Civil servants, they are the ones that we meet in these offices. And if and this overhauling is not done, if the right people are not there, you see that they bring the government down. And anytime you visit a government office, or anytime you visit any sort of establishment, ministry, where you expect that they have to serve you, they ought to serve you, and you're not getting that kind of service you need, the next thing you think is that the governor is not doing well. So he knows that one very well, that it will fall back on him if he doesn't do that. And he's been doing that. He's carried out overhauling, and he's talked about his plans for the education system. He wants to put in place, he's been putting in place functional changes in the education system, also revamping moribund infrastructure, prioritizing human capital development, and fast-tracking programs and initiatives, all to drive inclusive growth, making Edo great again. His plans is that at the end of his second tenure, there will be no more excuse. During the first tenure, the excuse was that Adams Oshomole, the battle between his erstwhile godfather, was so intense, and it was like a back and forth here and there. But that is all done now. There's no more link. He's not even with the All Progressive Congress anymore. So there's no excuse this time around. He has to deliver. The people are waiting for him. The people that gave him his mandate, they want to see that all that he promised, all of the campaign promise, is able to put them in place. And he knows time is ticking. That is why he's rolling out all of this, and he's also carrying out the people along. Part of his campaign promise was that he was going to carry everybody along, that his government is going to be that of an inclusive one. One of the major issues he had with the All Progressive Congress and his erstwhile godfather, Obaseki, stated that there were people who wanted to cash out of the state, a selected few, so that the masses will suffer. He said, no, that will not happen. That every member of the state has to reap the dividends of democracy. And when he started his statement, he said this development plan is something that will sustain ongoing reforms and projects. All of these are aimed at improving the livelihood of the people. So the end result is the people, that the people will live better lives. There was one time he said that it will be joy to him if everyone in the state is wealthy, that the state will be even safer if everyone is wealthy. That's of no benefit to him where there are a lot of poor people in the state. So if there's anything he needs to put in place to see that everybody gets good standard of living, he was talking about livelihood of the people. I mean, it's a good one, but the people are still waiting for the anti-open grazing bill to be signed by the governor. He's still yet to sign that bill. My people, leave us your take. Thank you once again for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe till I come your way again with more updates. Bye.